I was never the type of man to create a spectacle. So when my wife, Karen, looked at me across the dinner table and said, "Sometimes I wish you'd just vanish," something inside me shattered, quietly, fully, without a sound. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I simply stood up, as calm as I'd been when I first sat down, and walked away from the life we had built from the ground up. My keys stayed on the counter. In my hand, only my wallet and an old duffel bag. No goodbye. No flash of anger. No last attempt to explain myself. Just the still, heavy air of something final. For 10 years, I had given her everything. Long hours at work, postponed dreams, and a lifetime of putting her happiness ahead of my own. I ignored the subtle shifts that signaled the end. The way she stopped smiling when I entered a room, the cold silences between us, the distance that crept in and never left. Her words that night weren't a surprise. They were the last blow to a house already falling apart. Maybe she thought I'd protest or break down. But I was done. She wanted me gone, so I left. I moved 3 states away, cutting ties with everyone. I changed my name and found work as a carpenter, something I'd once loved but abandoned because she wanted me in a career that paid better. I traded ambition for simplicity, a small town where nobody knew me, no past to explain, no history to drag behind me. For the first time in 10 years, I could breathe. I didn't call old friends. I didn't write to my family. I let myself fade into the background. In time, I bought a modest cabin near the woods. I started making custom furniture, slowly earning respect in the community. People knew me as the quiet man who worked with his hands, reliable, steady, free of the weight of being someone's disappointment. 7 years passed. I told myself I never thought about Karen, never cared who she was with or where she had ended up. Maybe she'd married the man I always suspected had been waiting in the wings before I left. And then one afternoon, she walked into my shop. Her clothes were expensive but wrinkled from travel. Her face was older, yes, but it was her eyes that struck me, not from lack of sleep, but from something deeper, a fatigue of the soul. She froze when she saw me. So did I. "Michael," she whispered, my old name, a name I hadn't heard aloud in years. "You're alive." I didn't move. My arms stayed folded, my heart pounding but my face unreadable. Then she began to cry. Not quiet tears, but shaking, gasping sobs that made her drop to her knees on the hardwood floor. "I'm sorry," she choked out. "I searched for you for years. I thought you were dead. I filed reports. I went to therapy. I destroyed my life trying to find you." Her voice broke into pieces. I didn't mean it, what I said. I was angry. "I never thought you'd really leave." Finally, I spoke. "But I did leave. And I never came back." Her eyes clung to mine. "Please, just listen to me. Let me explain. Let me fix this." I drew in a slow breath. "There's nothing to fix. You told me to disappear. And I did." My voice never rose. My hands never trembled. I had already done my grieving, in motel rooms, on empty forest trails, in the silence of unfamiliar places. She was only now beginning hers, and it wasn't mine to carry anymore. Eventually she stood, wiping her face with unsteady fingers. "Do you hate me?" I paused. "No. I just don't feel anything at all." She gave a small nod, as if the answer hurt more than hatred could. Then quietly she turned and walked to the door, leaving the way I once had. I watched her go. She wasn't the woman I'd loved, just a stranger with a ghost in her eyes. When the door clicked shut behind her, I turned back to my workbench, picked up my chisel, and kept carving.